Hey there, YoPro audience. It's Camber here. Before we dive into our interview and YoPro of the week, just wanted to first quickly mention Phonetic Eyewear. If you have not heard of Phonetic, definitely go check out Caitlin Northup's interview a couple of weeks back. She is wonderful. She's living in Pittsburgh. She is in her 30s, talking about her career, reflecting on her career, in addition to why she works for a company like Phonetic. Thankfully, they have agreed to be partners, and we're really excited to jump headfirst into this partnership in 2021, because reality of it is young professionals need blue light glasses, especially in today's day and age where we are staring at a screen even more so than before. So before you dive into the interview this week, make sure to check out Phonetic and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks. Hey there, everyone. It is Camber here with the YoPro Know. I'm here today with Pragya Chaturvedi, a 19-year-old student at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, Virginia. She is originally from Raleigh, and she's on Christmas break right now, so she is currently there. But most of the time throughout the year, she is at UVA. Typically, you might be wondering, why am I interviewing a student? Because as you may notice, I typically only interview young professionals. However, we have a very unique kind of experiment going where Pragya and I connected a couple months back through Blake Bozarth, who is a former interviewee and a former connection of mine from my first career out of college in Chattanooga, Tennessee. He met Pragya and connected us, and there's a ton of synergy. So she is a student, yes, full-time, but she's a founder of CampusHQ, which we're going to hear all about today. So this is, again, a little bit of a twist on our typical interviews, but Pragya, I'm so excited you're here today.
I'm so glad. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so go ahead and give us a brief background. So obviously you're from Raleigh. How did you choose UVA? How did you end up where you are? And then we'll dive more into CampusHQ in a second.
Yeah, so I moved from India to America when I was about 12 years old, and I lived in Virginia for most of my life. So I knew that I wanted to look into UVA. I thought that was like one of the big schools I wanted to go to. And that's how I kind of chose UVA. I think it was between Duke and UVA, and I picked UVA because it was in state at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pre-med as well, which
Okay.
I'm not anymore. I found my entrepreneurial streak,
Mm-hmm.
but that's how I picked UVA. And I've been at UVA for 2 years now. And I founded Campus HQ right after COVID, but I can get into that right now if you
Yeah.
want me to.
Yeah, let's dive right in. So first off, what is CampusHQ?
Mm-hmm. So it is a digital media platform which helps college students and high school students find their passions, and we help them through our resources, mentorship, and community. So we focus on providing all three of those aspects to them. So resources, we have a podcast just like you do, and we provide advice on there, our experiences, so they know what's going on and they know how to navigate the college life. So everything I had to figure out on my own, I want them to like have that a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Um,
So sorry to interrupt you really quickly. What caused you to do this? What was that kind of light bulb that went off in your head where you were like, all right, I'm going to do this? Because this is not just at UVA, correct?
it's at over 100 schools.
100 schools. Yeah. So tell us about that.
So when COVID started, I and my co-founder Charlotte saying we personally were struggling a lot with adjusting to online schools, Zoom, and just making sure that we were doing well in school. And we thought to ourselves, and we were like, the incoming first years are going to struggle so much. They don't have tours anymore. They don't know how to pick their college. And just seeing them having so much difficulties. And then, you know how big college advice is on the internet, but it's so vague and no one ever like gives real unfiltered advice. So we really wanted to focus on like providing real unfiltered advice from college students so they could feel okay talking about mental health issues, talking about where they wanted to go to school, and it wasn't necessarily just rank based online.
Mhm.
So that's what we wanted to create. So we started off with a podcast just for UVA students. The first episode was like, why should you go to UVA?
Mhm.
And Our reach grew so much and so many people were listening, so we thought let's expand. So we started off with colleges in Virginia, so William and Mary, Virginia Tech. And then we went to the surrounding colleges and we had such great reception with it. And that's when we went like full scale, every college in America we tried to reach out to incoming first years.
Mhm.
And since then, we've expanded to high school students, currently in Virginia, and we provide online webinars and stuff for the admissions process.
Mhm.
And now we have a website where we provide consultations, newsletters, and all that.
Wow. I mean, just wow, the fact that you are 19 and you have done this. And I noticed you say we. So talk about your team. This has obviously grown really significantly since the beginning of the pandemic. So have you done this alone?
Yeah, so I founded this with another second year, and she's been my friend for quite a few years, and her name's Charlotte Sang,
Mhm.
and we're both pursuing things in business. So that's how like we knew that we wanted to do this with each other. It was like a 3 a.m. conversation. We were on FaceTime, and she was like, "Wouldn't it be fun if we just like started a podcast?" And I said, "Yeah, can I be a guest?" And then she said, "Do you want to do this together?" And that's how we started it. And now we've grown to where we have like project managers, project leads, and then people who handle social media. And currently they're all college students and we just do this together.
That's
And it's
great.
great.
Are they all at UVA?
Most of them are at UVA, but I have some people from Penn and UCLA. So we are expanding there, and we're all pretty equal. So we don't want it to feel like a hierarchy.
Yeah.
Like we listen to everyone and it's a really collaborative environment.
Mhm. Great. There's a lot that I want to dissect here, but the first being, so we're 6 years apart, you and I. I'm kind of the tail end of the millennials, and you guys are, you're definitely Gen Zers. What have you learned just in this short time about Gen Z and what you guys need in order to be successful when you transition into the workplace?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's a lot that goes into it, but the trouble that most of us are having right now is finding our passions. And we've all been told to like find your passion, pursue your job in that passion. Money isn't the most important thing, and that's what you need to do. But I have struggled so much with finding what I wanted to do, and I know I want to do something I love, but just figuring that out is so hard, especially when the career tracks that are talked about are so limited. So they talk about finance, accounting, pre-med, law school, and computer science. And other than that, there's nothing else. So like if you're not pursuing one of the traditional areas, then like you're looked at as a failure.
Mhm.
So just dissecting that, dealing with like imposter syndrome and all of that in college is something. And I've seen a lot of people struggle with mental health issues because of their surroundings and having this much pressure.
Mhm.
So I think that's like one of the main difficulties we're having, like going into the workforce. We just don't even know where we want to start.
Yeah, no, I mean, and for everyone listening and watching, I mean, it's a no-brainer why, Blake connected us, because it is a natural progression. Say you become a part of Campus HQ and you're, in part of the audience, it's a natural progression to jump to Yo Pro No once you become a young professional, because that is why I started this. There are such few career paths that are, exhibited to you in your growing up. And then you get to college and you're like, well, I don't want to be a scientist or researcher. I don't want to be pre-med. I don't want to be a lawyer or a news anchor. Like
Yeah.
there's so many other things that you can do. And so I applaud you for what you've done, and especially at your age, because it's hard. It's great. It's so easy to have ideas, but it's really hard to execute them. And so it's really amazing what you've done. I am curious, do you have any advisors, anyone like in the business department that is helping you with this?
Not particularly in the business department, but we did reach out to a few professors and we've gotten a lot of feedback from them that's kind of helped us. But we kind of just like started something on our own. It was low stakes. We didn't put any money down or anything. So we started really small and like we've grown so much from that. But now we kind of go to like our mentors and professors, but we haven't in the past as much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is, again, impressive. And I'm curious to see what'll happen in the future, because I think, UVA is going to want to kind of grab this essentially, because it's such a cool thing that, isn't really, like, I'm sure you looked into it and there wasn't really anything like this. And that's why you started it.
Yeah. Because you see so much filtered content on YouTube, you see it on the internet, and 40, 50-year-old people are giving you college advice and telling you how to like navigate that space. And I just couldn't relate to any of that. So we knew that we wanted to provide something like based on stuff that we were going through right now and not just the highlight reel.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Um, you're 19. What things do you like, or do you have time to enjoy being 19, or is this year kind of a wash anyways, because it's such a unique year?
Yeah, I think this has been a really unique year. So first year I had like a lot of fun, and I had more time to really like figure things out. Since then, due to COVID and school, I haven't had as much time. So I've really been like focusing on getting good grades and finding out like my passions and what I want to do in the future, while also handling Campus HQ.
Yeah.
I know this upcoming semester, I do want to like take a slight break from everything and really figure out like what like the meaning of life, and not just be doing work, work, work all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can guarantee that if you're starting to think about that now, you're going to be set when you start working in the workplace. So congratulations on everything. I'm mindful of our time, so I do want to wrap up with two final questions. The first being, if somebody's watching or listening and they are a high school or college student, and even those who are not, so they can share it with, friends, family members that are in those two kind of categories, what is the best way for them to connect with you? Like, how can they kind of get plugged in and make the most out of your resources?
Yeah, so I think a really good way to start if you're in high school or college is to follow our Instagram on campus.hq. But if you need more help, if you want to need resume edits or want to talk about your options or have any college essays you would like us to read, then our website is campushq.org.
Mm-hmm.
And there you can schedule a consultation or sign up for a newsletter or any of that. And our podcasts are on Apple and Spotify.
Awesome. Are you monetizing this right now?
It we used to monetize it, and we used to have some ads, but we don't as much anymore, just because we wanted to provide people with like free resources, so we don't want to take that away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we try to monetize on our
Mm-hmm.
podcast, but that's about it.
Okay. Well, maybe as you guys continue to grow, that'll change again one day. And then my final question, I lied. I had three final questions. What is next for you? Where do you see Campus HQ going?
Yeah, it's so up in the air, I feel like, because we kind of adapt based on what we see. So currently we're thinking about starting a magazine, and it's going to be health and wellness section, and then also like about listicles based on where are the best places to eat, or like what if you're trying to be healthy, what should you do to be productive and stuff like that. We'll see where that takes us. And then more people are getting into college now, so the whole cycle is starting again, so focusing on targeting those students.
Yeah, great. Well, Pragya, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for sharing your story today with YoPro Now. I hope to interview you again when you become a YoPro. But thanks for joining us for this special edition podcast.
It's so much fun. Thank you for having me again.